Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi. We're back again. It's that time where we have to deliver, as usual. We have to deliberate on what happened in that court, and we will do so using the third commandment of the public opinion. I don't know. Just made that one up.
For the benefit of the public.
Hey. Just made that one up. But how are you guys? I'm hoping that everyone is fine and we are doing well. So we are here. We couldn't have missed the day. Emily, let me give you the floor.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another video. Please press the like button. We'd highly appreciate it if you do that, please.
Yes.
As well as like and share and comment. And please share the content with people you know are interested in this case, like we all are.
Yes.
We just want to see how is this movie gonna end. You know, we are invested.
We're invested in the movie.
So Advocate Zandile Mshololo cross-examined Lieutenant Colonel Nkosi Hadebe. And they pronounce it Lieutenant Colonel Nkosi Hadebe. He started, Advocate Mshololo started by focusing on his 36 years of experience, in which he only did 5 pointings out. Mshololo then asked, you testified about your experience. You have more than 30 years. With that, you have only done 4 pointing outs. And Hadebe said yes. So this Bongani Ntanzi one, or is it Sibiya one? The Sibiya one, accused number 1's pointing out was his 5th. Then Mshololo then asked, when you were employed by SAPS, you had matric? And Hadebe said yes. Do you have any experience in the detective environment? And Hadebe said yes. Mshololo asked, do you agree Colonel Gininda, when he called you, was privy to the facts of this case? And Hadebe said yes. Mshololo then asked, so you were not requested by an independent person? And Hadebe said yes. Mshololo asked, so in the absence of the conversation between you two, we cannot tell what he told you? And Hadebe said that's right. Mshololo then asked, when you decided to go to the cells, you found members of EMPD.
So Emily, just there, this is just casting doubts of no knowledge. If you're wondering why the line of questioning is going that way, this is the defense trying to say we do not believe that you were not told, considering that you were told by someone who was privy to this information, more information about this case. So it couldn't have been a conversation of please go do 1, 2, 3 done. No nitty-gritties of why and what is this case and all that. They are trying to show, demonstrate that these people had prior knowledge of what is happening, which conflicts them in a sense, because you are not supposed to be from the neutral point of view. You're not supposed to have such information until you are told, because the author of this information is Mr. Sibiya. If there was any pointings, if there was any confessions without duress.
And he sounded like a man on a mission. I mean, taking those that signed book and even signing, you know, it says otherwise. It says this had to be done come hell or high waters type of attitude.
Yes.
So when you decide to go to the cells, this is Mshololo now asking, you found members of EMPD. EMPD is the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. I also didn't know that. So Advocate Mshololo probed on the meaning of that, and we all got to find out what it means. So what were they doing in the cells? Asking Mshololo. Hadebe said they were just standing there, guard. Then Mshololo said, who? Hadebe said, Mr. Sibiya. They were guarding Mr. Sibiya.
So this might look like a small thing, but by saying that this person booked the suspect himself, he was violating that part of being independent, because if you do that, then you go to that occurrence book, then you are privy to information prior to you getting that information from the first author in this case. So again, they are crying, and those are irregularities. That's why this court must find otherwise, because you cannot correct, as Mgomezo correctly submitted, that you cannot correct or cure the wrongs that were done on a basis that the statement or whatever happens in the end should be able to cure everything. And that's a direction that I see the judge trying to push here. The judge is saying that the statement encapsulates everything towards the end. But the process is that you go through that performer that you are given step by step, and you explain to the person, and the answers are such as I understand. Those are vague answers. Those are answers that show a bit of interacting with the accused. So in this case, based on these answers, in all honesty, in a normal world, this should have been by now going towards the end. Whatever statements, they should be seeing the end of the light, because in all honesty, who answers all the questions I understand, even where there's option A and option B, which exclude I understand.
So Hadebe then said Mr. Sibiya is the one who Mr. Sibiya is the one who was standing there close to the police. So Mshololo then asked him only or others, and Hadebe said he was alone there. And Mshololo asked, he was guarded there, and there were extra police. That on its own presence of Metro Police poses a threat to him. And Hadebe said, I don't agree. Mshololo said, you did not record asking the accused for consent to book him out of the cells, because you did ask him for consent. And Hadebe said, I did ask him. I don't believe that.
The question was, did you ask the accused for permission to take him out of the custody? In this case, trying to say that there was no permission asked. The person complied simply because you are a police, which could be in violation of this person's right.
So Hadebe said, I did ask him, and Mshololo said, we are dealing with the fact if the accused voluntarily agreed to go with you. And Hadebe said, I agree, it's not written down. Mshololo then asked, did you tell him the purpose of booking him out? And Hadebe said, yes, when we got to the office. Mshololo asked, what did you say? And Hadebe said, I said I was there to take a statement as agreed to with the investigating officer. Mshololo then asked, did you explain the allegations against the accused? And Hadebe said, I wrote his response that he was informed. Then Mshololo said, what was explained to him? And Hadebe said, the rights according to me were explained during the arrest, and when he wanted to do a pointing out, he was informed as well. And Mshololo said, let's stick to this form or pro forma. And Hadebe said, there is a sentence that says I explained his rights. Mshololo said, can I agree that you never informed him of the allegations? And Hadebe said, yes. And Mshololo said, so the accused, when you were dealing with him, was under the impression that you were dealing with him over the arrest, over his illegal substances dealing case? And Hadebe said, no. So this is interesting. It's interesting because he's incarcerated, as they say, for an illegal substance dealing case, right?
Yes.
And then they take him to a pointing out.
Mm-hmm.
Can we say he was aware that he's gonna be charged with murder?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't show that. And even this, if we go by anything that he says, even this peace officer, he did not explain why this person was there.
And
This person
going for
could
this
have been
pointing out.
taken under the assumption that I'm going to point out the issues of drugs.
Yes. So Mshololo then said, did he at any time tell you he was under arrest for murder? And Hadebe said no. Mshololo said, I'm saying he was not informed of the exact consequences of pointing out. Hadebe said, I did inform him. And Mshololo said, so the accused was not informed that he was going to, what he was going to do or what he was going to say or do was going to be used against him in court. Hadebe said, yes, the word court was not there. Mshololo then asked, there is a right to legal representation.
And that's another irregularity. Because you are told whatever will happen, and you are not told why. And I mean, I know those are small things. Someone will say, hey, already. No. You need to do things by the book. So you took this information without knowing where this information will be used. And today we are in court. This information is supposed to be admitted in court as the only information that is there. While you took this information, under no circumstances you explained where this information will be used. To a lay person, as you understand, I mean, you are an experienced police. You have worked in these things, even though you've worked for, but it is important to have such information to say that this has to do with court, not used against you. It could be used against you in the process of harming you, as it is alleged that there was a bodily harm. It could be used in any way. So there was no explaining. So basically, again, anything that would be done after this is basically to cure the irregularities that has happened. Therefore, if consistency is anything to move by, this also must be thrown out. These statements must be thrown out.
Then Mshololo said there is a right to legal representation. Which one did he choose? His own or the state's to provide him with one, or not to have any legal representation at all? And Hadebe said he gave one holistic answer for everything. So I'm going to assume that he read all the rights and read all the consequences and then got one answer, which was, yes, I understand. That's how he's painting the picture.
Again, all these answers, somewhere, somehow, they do not fit. There are answers that requires selecting from option B to option A. You choose. There is one or two. And the I understand issue is just an issue that, as the judge tried to defend, I mean, the judge was trying to quantify Baloi's submission as when it comes to step-by-step interpreting a performer. A performer encapsulated the constitution rights as a whole. And that's like a hogwash approach.
It's dodgy.
It's a dodgy approach. The funny thing, the judge is trying to find ways of working around that. And that is mainly because we've been promising that these people will come and testify while we are deliberating on that. All the time when they leave, you'll come back and testify. That's a problem.
They were trying to make Advocate Mshololo to skip to paragraph 4 to get what
your answers. You are in question 3.
Paragraph
you are told,
3.
and you need to get answer for question 3. You are told that will be covered in question 4. What kind of a process is that? What kind of a process is that? It's a process that lacks personality. It lacks humanity. It's like a robot.
So he just got in there, took a document out, read him all the rights, probably in English by the sound of things, and then he asked, "Do you understand?" It is like, "I understand." That's how he's painting this picture. He's not painting the picture of actually, I explained each and every single right to him, and I asked him if he understood, yes or no. And it's amazing how they all claim to have read him his rights over and over and over again. And they say he was free and voluntary to confess, and he didn't do it under duress, these police officers. But yet here we are in court. And they are saying, no, that did not happen. So who are we to believe now? And looking at these statements, who are we to believe?
We cannot believe anyone.
They
out
don't
of
look
them.
well put together, in my opinion.
We have experience that is still looking like an amateur conducting these pointings and taking of statements.
Not someone with 36 years of experience.
Yes.
Well, Hadebe said he gave one holistic answer for everything, which was, I understand. Mshololo asked, it shows his rights were not explained. And Mshololo said this shows that the constitutional rights of the accused were not properly explained to him in a manner which he understood. And Hadebe said he understood. Did you note down what was pointed out by the accused? Hadebe said yes. Mshololo then, as you testified, you did not record the directions given by the accused to where you were going. And Hadebe said yes. Mshololo asked, and the directions ought to have been recorded in this form. Hadebe said, where in this form? Exactly. Where are those directions in the form, in your statement, Mr. Hadebe?
You see, when it suits them, this pro forma form is used as a guideline where you can add any adondoram statement. And then when it doesn't suit them, they need a space, as if this is a statutory form that has a certain way that is legalized of working, which is, this is a guidance. So you can add statements.
Mshololo then asked, you could attach it to this form. The reason why the directions, if any, were given, if any were given by the accused to you, is because no directions were given to you. The reason that you failed to record directions is because the accused never gave directions to you, to the so said pointing out. And Hadebe said he did, my lord. And Mshololo said it's not recorded here where you said the accused said you must stop,
And this was supposed to be captured even if it's not there by the notes.
Yes.
Because there were no notes,
and he says
which
he doesn't carry
which
a
on its
pocket
own can be argued that it demonstrates that these statements were already written. All that needed to happen was the process to show as if everything is actually being done now. This is a sign. Who doesn't take notes? How are you going to remember all these processes? Like this thing, the question is, how long did it take you to do all these things? 2 to 3 hours? You are able to recall all the events that happened within that? Not unless there was no need for you to actually take notes, because this thing was already done.
And it's quite interesting because the statement said 24th of July, 2020.
Yes.
And this was happening when? The 5th of July. The 5th of June. 2020.
Yes.
So all of that span, you could still remember what happened on the 5th of June without having taken any notes. Wow. All I can say is wow.
It's a wow.
Then Hadebe said, here on the statement, it is there. Mshololo said, at the scene, there was Metro Police in the vicinity, and Hadebe said, yes. Why in the vicinity if you were guarding? And Hadebe said, guarding is not only for that, but to safeguard safety in all that area. So Mshololo asked, I put it to you that the presence of those police officers induced fear to the accused during pointing out.
But Emily, did you see the judge saying, sorry, that is done, meaning the pointing, after the pointing, and the annoyance that was shown by, that is always portrayed by this judge when everything is done. Isn't that so? Sir. And the guy is obviously, you are leading him. Obviously, you are telling him what to say. And Maloyi stands up. Man.
They've normalized it.
Just shows impartiality.
They have normalized it.
There is no balance way of doing things in that court. For me, this is how I see it. I see no balance of way of doing things. There's no, if I hit this side and something wrong happens, I come back and do that. Whether we are now seeing the reprimand that is based on what is wrong, that is done by the defense, or we are just seeing the irritation on the basis that the questions that are being asked are actually showing or demonstrating that there was a lot of incompetence that happened there, which could actually lead us as the public opinion in believing that actually these things were preempted. They were done long time ago.
So Mshololo said you testified that you booked out the suspect, Mr. Sibiya. Then Hadebe said yes. Can you tell me the process and procedure of booking out the suspect by a peace officer? And Hadebe said the procedure is that a person will be brought to my office, someone will sign him out, and I would then start with the interview. Mshololo said it would not be your duty to book out the suspect, and that will be the duty of the officers. And Hadebe said that's correct.
Yes.
Mshololo said, and that never happened. Hadebe said that's correct. Hadebe says over and above the SAPS members that were guarding Sibiya in the police holding cells, there were Metro police officers. He denied that the mere presence of Metro police officers there posed a threat to the suspect is put to him by Advocate Mshololo. And the accused was under the impression that he was talking to you on the case of illegal substance dealing. He says that he was arrested for illegal substance dealing. It means he understood the allegations against him to be that of illegal substance dealing, and Hadebe insisted that, you know what, no. Mshololo said, please tell me, what is it exactly that was explained to him? And Hadebe said, can we read this? Meaning his statement. And Mshololo said yes. Hadebe said he was asked if he was informed of the reasons for his arrest as prescribed in Section 35, and he said yes, I was informed of my arrest and also in custody for illegal substance dealing. Mshololo then asked, now I'm saying from this response, he knew that he was under arrest for the substance dealing and not murder. That was secondary. Hadebe said, did he at any stage tell you that he was
that was secondary? The primary one was what? Was it murder case?
Yes, which
is claiming
nothing about.
Which is also claiming that, the guy was not told initially. How could he have known that thing, and how does it become secondary? Because you are still going to deliberate on that thing.
And why is it on the pro forma statement that is mentioned? I think that's what Mshololo wanted to ask, and the judge kept interfering. Why is that the mention of the illegal substance dealing case and not that of murder? That of murder is hardly mentioned. He said, and also, that's why he wanted to read his own statement, because he said, and also the illegal substance dealing case. But where's the murder case? And also what from where? You know, that didn't make sense.
Yes.
And Mshololo did a stellar job with this cross-examination. I was happy.
There is something, however, that I felt she missed. The booking of Sibiya back in it was not legit for me. I mean, this guy, he says he was alone in the CSC. He booked Sibiya back to the cell. He does not know who took him after, meaning he left with his handcuffs. He could not have left with his handcuffs. So he left Sibiya uncuffed now, after finding him cuffed. Is that what he's saying? The process of booking him back was hideous. You find this person in a cell with handcuffs. You told this court that you couldn't have taken this person with handcuffs, and that is during the cross-examination by Ngumalo. hence you had to change the handcuffs. When you come back, there's no one in CSC. You book this guy back, no handcuffs, no exchange of handcuffs or whatsoever. What, did you leave your handcuff now or did you leave him uncuffed?
Exactly what happened to the handcuffs? Did you leave him in your handcuffs or there was an exchange again, you handed over?
Which, based on your answer, we could assume that you couldn't have left him with your handcuff because they would have left with him again. You would have lost your handcuffs, which are allocated to a person.
He said every police officer has their allocation of handcuffs, right? So that's interesting. That's a question that needed to be explored. And Mshololo also touched on a point: the use of a sworn-in interpreter meant the accused could have gotten a better interpretation of the document. And Hadebe said, "That's not true, my lord. You are not a sworn-in interpreter," Mshololo asked, and Hadebe said, "Yes." "And you are also not a qualified interpreter." And Hadebe said, "That's correct." So in the SAPS, he says, "We do not have employed interpreters." Hadebe said the presence of Metro Police officers in the vicinity of where the accused was conducting the pointings out did not pose any threat to him. According to accused number one's version of events, he says he was fetched, or on the day that he was arrested, there were a lot of these EMPD officers. They made them sleep on the floor. They assaulted them. They took their phones.
Yes.
They took him to his home. They did the same thing to his uncle. Was it his uncle or his father?
His father.
I don't remember. His father. Or they did a lot. It was a lot of them. So for the mere presence, I feel like they should have emphasized, especially the defense counsel for accused 1 and 2, that they needed to repeat that version of events again that accused number 1 spoke of, and then say, if this happened, then why are you presuming that accused number 1, Sibiya, could not have felt threatened by the presence of the EMPD, who were also present in his arrest? Why are you so quick to assume that he was comfortable? Did you at any point ask him if he was comfortable in the presence of these EMPD officers? That would have been interesting to find the answer for that.
It would.
Well, Advocate Mshololo concluded her cross-examination. Another part that I felt like maybe they didn't want to delve into, I don't know, Mr. Anonymous, how you felt about it, but there is a reading or a passage on the pro forma that she read where there was mention of photographs of the pointing out. Right? That he only included the photographs of the pointing out in his pro forma, not the photographs of the accused. Right? However, photographs of the accused were demonstrated in court. So I wish you could have canvassed more on the pictures shown in court to support this evidence that they claim of no torture, right? If he had placed a plastic bag over his head where he would there have been proof of any physical scars? If he placed a towel over his head, or in the form of torture was putting a towel over his head and then pouring water, where would the scars be?
No,
would they have been demonstrated, since you insisted on taking pictures of him to prove that he wasn't tortured? And then, so what was the purpose of taking those pictures with his shirt off, And did you ask him for permission to take his shirt off and photograph him, wherein you would use the images in court? Did you explain that to him before you took those pictures? Was his handcuffs on or off when these pictures were taken? And if they were not on, was he no longer afraid of him escaping? That you anticipated, this escape that you were anticipating? And if they were still on, how did you get his shirt off to take those pictures of him? So
if there is something like that of those pictures of him half naked.
if there is. So I would have delved more onto that, because in itself, the taking of those pictures, they don't look right, in my opinion. They don't feel right. They didn't look right, especially when I found out that from the publication that his shirt was off. I would have delved more into this. Isn't this another form of torture? Isn't this another form of psychological torture? You know? So yeah.
Same as the presence of the police, because
Yes.
that's also a psychological torture.
It's a psychological torture.
Considering that,
They are the ones who came to fetch him on the day that he got arrested. And there were many of them. So, Advocate Ngomezulu and Advocate Ngumalo indicated that they have more questions. Now, it became very awkward
he asked
when
for
the judge
indulgence.
overlooked Ngomezulu when Ngumalo was still deciding whether he wanted to consult with his client or not. And before asking Hadebe one last question, because there was a time when Ngumalo didn't necessarily or wasn't sure whether he needed to consult or not. And then Ngomezulu got up and said, as he is consulting with the client, I would like to pose some of my questions. And the judge was like, I found that very awkward and dismissive. It was weird. So Ngomezulu asked Gininda will come and corroborate your evidence. Is that so? And Hadebe said
So
correct.
Nguma's question was like, yesterday you said you did not take notes, and you were guided by the performer form. Yet you refer to the preceding notes in your statement. And this guy, he points out the performer as the notes.
Yes. He said that he didn't take any notes. They asked him if he had a diary.
And what the
He
judge
had
does,
a diary, but did he take notes in that diary? Well,
the judge says, leave that for
arguments,
arguments,
please.
or else you stay here forever. I mean, how is that going to help without the person who is an author of this statement? You need to canvass your points before you even take them to arguments. So by not asking them, aren't you the same judge going to say, you never asked that question?
So Ngomezulu asked, Gininda will come and corroborate your evidence. Is that not so? And Hadebe said, correct. Ngomezulu said, and what you discussed with him, was it in relation to accused number 1? Hadebe said, yes. Ngomezulu asked, and he should have informed you that Sibiya wanted to make a pointing out, and Hadebe said, yes. We are deliberating this because of Sibiya, who says, according to the state, he wanted to make the pointing out. And Hadebe said, yes. Ngomezulu said, did it reach you as to how Sibiya communicated to Sibiya that he wanted to do the pointing out? To Gininda, that he wanted to do the pointing out. And Hadebe said it was never canvassed to him. Ngomezulu said, I'm putting it to you that Sibiya is the author of this deliberation. Do you agree? And Hadebe said, yes. Ngomezulu said, if it was Sibiya's intention to make a pointing out, there must be a method he would have communicated it to the investigating officer. Hadebe said the investigation officer could be the one to answer that. Ngomezulu said, my lord, at this stage, I won't buy that question. I want you because you were party to the discussion about Sibiya. And Hadebe said, what was discussed between Gininda and Sibiya, I have no idea of. I was requested to make a pointing out. Ngomezulu then asked, besides that evidence, but the logic dictates that. And the judge said, whose logic? Ngomezulu said, the logic, the general logic. I will demonstrate that logic. Yeah, I want to know, says the judge, because we are dealing with 3 people, Sibiya, Gininda, and Lieutenant Colonel. Ngomezulu then said, the logic of an experienced officer.
Yeah, I want you to reverse your memory and remember how the problems that the previous defense had started. It was through demonstrating knowledge of a certain thing in that court. And Ngomezulu, right now, he's by far the best when it comes to such, dealing with these issues. So this is my prediction. And it has nothing to do with anything. I believe, Emily, that we might be hearing stories one day, or not very far, maybe before this case is finished, that something is happening when it comes to Ngomezu. This is my own theory. This is my observation. There is this antagonizing that is seemingly now directed to him, and I like his maturity. I must say, I like his emotional intelligence, because now he needs to exercise this the most. He must make sure that he's never reported for anything when it comes to that court. Do you understand? Because that's where our problem started. There is this resistance when he's doing something. There's this interruption that is happening that might make you snap, and then when you snap, then you are reported. Then your problem starts. Do you understand? And
we've seen this movie before.
It's like it's repeating now, slowly but surely. Ngomezu, for me, he's the most experienced guy when it comes to this trial within trial issue, and is dealing with it properly. I don't even think the judge is at that level when it comes to trial within trial. So that is intimidating. That is something that can actually cause us problem very soon, as we are still celebrating him. He's here. You can see he's mainly brought here for this trial within trial issue. I probably foresee him leaving after this, after dealing with these issues. But the question is he going to be afforded a chance to finish doing his job that he's doing very well currently? Not any of those defense has this experience when it comes to a trial. Most of them, they're taking notes.
Well, Mgomezulu said the logic of an experienced officer like you, a person who is in custody, can have certain ways to communicate with the investigating officer, one of which could be personal communication, and the judge said that's not correct. Mgomezulu said, let me just qualify it. If Gininda visited the suspect, that's a personal encounter. And Hadebe said yes. Mgomezulu concluded his cross-examination. There was a part where he mentioned Mtogozi Sitwala.
And he was shut down.
And he was quickly shut down.
And okay, I might concede, this is confined to a trial within trial, so you cannot go further than that, because we're dealing with that. And that's okay. That is okay. I mean, as a lawyer, sometimes you take your chances. But that started with the judge not objecting.
Not an objection coming
but
from
sort
the
of,
state.
But no, the judge there wanted him to put it on record, trying to explain what happens with Togo and give the background as he usually does. And then that bought Baloyi time to actually create or have that objection. And then the objection was made by Baloyi. And again, any objection that you would normally see, it comes after the judge has initiated. And sometimes it is not through objection that happens with the judge. It is through just creating a bit of a hump, a bit of a long dry. Please do 1, 2, 3. And that buys time for Baloyi. For me, this is my observation. That buys time for Baloyi to conjure something and say, by the way, and then there was this collaboration. Yeah, the case, so and so. You see, even the jumping of the chair, it's like, there you go, you got it, man.
And then all of a sudden, our prosecutor judge even read from a textbook, and he said he doesn't want people to say that, hey, this judge is interfering. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
so you
but
see the
you
comments?
are interfering. That's what you see.
You're seeing the comments of the
It's not even
social
about the
media.
comments. You're trying to wash yourself. Again, same thing that that previous police came in and did to say I could have made a mistake, trying to hypnotize us to focus on that mistake and forget big points. As I said yesterday, it's an issue even now. This judge, obviously, you look like you are interfering.
The state also re-examined Hadebe, and the focus mainly was about his career. So
But
it was not
just to demonstrate what,
interesting for me.
before you go there, just to demonstrate the issue of Ngomezulu, he asked for adjournment. And then it's like, you ask for an indulgence, please proceed. You know,
Oh yes,
the harshness in that.
he was very.
I mean,
harsh.
is that law that says you cannot ask for a break if you ask for an indulgence just because you are having a second bite?
He didn't have a textbook, so I'm gonna assume no.
No, it's not law. It's a feeling that was applied there. And I'm saying this, if he does lose his emotions, his emotional intelligence, he's gonna suffer, because I can foresee the reporting happening if that happens, and that's when the problems that you don't want to be reported.
It seems like the situation that was Maumela and Tifo is now kind of building up. It's Rata and Mkomezulu for some weird reason. The way he's been dismissed, it's very disturbing. It's giving me deja vu in my personal opinion. It's almost like he's pushing his buttons. He wants a reaction out of Mkomezulu. And I don't know what that reaction will
Definitely
amount
Ngomezulu exert fear because he knows what he's doing and is confident. He's not shaking like maybe Rata. He's just on point.
He needs to remain calm. Yeah, he needs to remain calm.
So, can you imagine removing him out of this trial? Then it changes the whole complexion of this trial.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. If you haven't noticed that, and if you think I'm lying, when he dealt with issues, there was a point where no defense stood up after that. Everyone was like, no cross-examination, my lord, no, nothing. Everyone, because that's how good he is. He covers everything.
Well, the judge asked about the presence of the EMPD police during the pointing out. The judge said, did at any stage Mr. Sibiya say that these people who assaulted me, choked me? And Hadebe said, no, my lord. And again, I'm like, judge.
But the
what is
issue of
purpose?
handcuffs also. This man says that Baloi brought Sibiya in handcuff in his office, in that office where he was. And then on the is it a performer where he says, I had to go fetch the person myself. That's contradiction. That's contradiction. You on your statement, you are talking about the person being handed over in the office, not in the holding cell.
Not in the holding cell.
Yes. And then you come this other side, you say, I fetched the person from the holding cell. That's a very huge contradiction.
Well, Mkomezulu went in after the judge asked those questions to Hadebe regarding Sibiya, telling him or saying to him, is these the police officers that assaulted me? And Hadebe, of course, said no, he never said anything. Mkomezulu went in to get the witness to say that before he came in, the EMPD left. However, before he arrived, Sibiya definitely saw them because it was one space. So it was the jail place and then the police, the EMPD, because what the perception that the judge was trying to create was that Sibiya did not see the EMPD police at all in his cell. while he was sitting in his jail cell. And Mgomezulu re-asked the question to say, you are saying before you walked in, the police officers, as you walked in, they walked out, right? Can you say from where Sibiya was sitting that he could not see those EMPD officers before you walked in? And Hadebe changed and said, yes, he could see them.
Thank you.
Where he was sitting.
That's it. Thank you. Because the judge creates these scenarios, and we are pointing them out because the judge creates these scenarios.
He creates them.
And if you don't mind them, or if you don't have someone who looks or does things like a shark, like Ngomezulu, you are going to go with one narrative that he was in position where he could not even see these people, this police.
He's lying. He did not see them.
But no, the place was transparent. You can imagine maybe the butlers, how transparent. This is how these places could be. They put a butler. But it's
bars.
There's not bars basically.
It's a jail cell, right? It
Yes.
wasn't a prison. It was a cell at a
Yes.
police station. So it's
Yes,
bars.
it's bars.
It's bars. It's not completely closed.
But the situation or the scenario was that no, this person could not see these people. He was relaxing wherever he was relaxing, comfortably, not seeing these people. They guided a person, a huge number of people with weapons. They guided a person who was there to confess, to say, "Oh, voluntarily, I'm here to confess." By the way, and then Tulu, they had guns, they had all these things. It's a squad, the whole squad.
Again, the judge said that he's sure Hadebe is coming back or will be coming back.
Here we go.
So the state called the photographer who took pictures of accused one, Moses Sibiya, during the contested, pointing out. He said he is Matsobani.
No, but did you deal with the issue of the signature? Did you deal with this issue of the signature? This guy put the signature on that insertion that happened from the occurrence book. You put the signature again in that insertion that happened, that you were not part of it, you were not there, it was not explained to you, but you put your signature, and it is reduced to that. You now basically, it sounds to me like you could have also done that with the statement, because you are able to sign something that you cannot attest for, and it's easy for you. Not only you do not look what is in front of you that you need to read. When it's convenient, you forget, you don't see things. But also, when it's convenient, you are able, without any rush now, you are able to put your signature on something that you did not write yourself, that you cannot account for yourself.
Well, the next witness, Matsobani Hendrik Mapakela, was offered an interpreter of Sepedi language, and he refused and said that he'll testify in English. And then he said that he's been a sergeant since 2006 with SAPS, and he's based at Germiston CRC since 2008, which is the Criminal Record Center. Isn't this where Musia used to work?
I'm not sure. But
he says he's a fingerprint expert and also does photography.
No, my worry, Emil, is there, in fact. Because the judge, on that occurrence issue, he tries to defend it, reading it, paging. This is. But at the end, he has no basis. And then Ngomezulu still stands and say, but what is the purpose of the signature there? And the judge now, when that question is posed to him, because now he's testifying on behalf of this man, he raises his hand. He says, okay, you can continue. You see, that's a hogwash behavior. You know, that's a hogwash. You would have read something before you sign it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You would have seen that this is not me. There's no need for you to put the signature.
Like I said, it seemed like it had to be done, come hell or high waters. And now he's trying to tell us that I did not read what was on that page. Yeah, right. He
Yeah.
did not read. You just go around putting your signatures everywhere at work.
like the
Without
next
reading.
witness, like the next witness, conveniently the camera takes the pictures and
But
conveniently switches off when it has to
kilometer
take the
reading.
kilometers.
Yeah, I've never seen such. I'm like Musia all over again. What is
And-
going on?
And listen to this because it's underplayed there.
Ah,
Conveniently when you have to take the pictures, you take the pictures, but when you have to take the speedometer,
your camera
there's a
stops
problem.
working.
And then you take
It
pictures,
works funny. It doesn't take pictures clearly anymore.
and then you take pictures of pointings. The camera works,
Yes.
and then you come back. The camera conveniently also gives you problems again to take the meters again of when you came back.
Yeah. Hi, sinenkinga South Africa, guys. Sinenkinga. So Mapakela said that on the 5th of June 2020, he was on standby duty covering Brackens Downs and Alberton area. He says, I received a call from Colonel Hadebe by 10 a.m. He said there was a pointing out he must do. Was it Colonel Hadebe or... Yeah, it was Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe. And he said there was a pointing out he must do, but he is in Alberton. He says, I went to Alberton SAPS.
Man, I don't normally read these things. Nat is saying to Mgaka, let me give you a word of caution. A defense lawyer is not a magic man. They can never dig you out of the mess you created for yourself, like Ndanzi and Sibiya did by confessing.
Who says they confessed? They are disputing that. Did you see them confess? Happy Wabulela Karuwena, you were there. Were you amongst the police officers? Are you one of the police officers who were there taking the confession? I'm just curious.
Look, you can say that. But in my own thinking, with people that I'm surrounded with who are practicing lawyers, they are fair. They will tell you if the case is there, if the case is not there. Simple as that. So no one assumed that these people are magicians.
No one.
Do you understand? I mean, they were able to get rid of that recording that could have maybe done a damage.
Yes.
And it could have been played selectively.
Yes, I remember
That recording, in my own thinking,
redacted.
yes, in my own thinking, that recording could have exonerated these people to say that in fact there was a bit of harassment that happened, not even a bit. But because of how the state is conducting this case, there could have been that reduction, that removed, or when we're about to reach that point, maybe the point of harassing happens towards the end. The ending probably was going to be before that. Therefore, leaving you with a certain way of thinking.
And for the person who's saying that they made their case difficult by confessing, well, there is. I think we even talked about it when the first day the confession came up, where Ndanzi was saying that the lawyer was forcing him to admit to a crime he did not commit. And he was saying this in the bail. Was it the bail hearing?
He was still in Boxback.
Yes. He was saying it came out of his own mouth, and he said, I will take the legal aid lawyer. I don't want this man. He was saying that out of his own mouth, and I was like, yo, intense. So for those who still believe that he confessed,
when it doesn't take
good luck to
a
all
smart
of you.
lawyer to actually see that this is just a hogwash.
Then good
I
luck
mean,
to
the
all of
submission, if really the state had a proper case, let's say, even if there was this duress that happened, a state had a proper case, why do we need statements that are signed yesterday?
Why?
Why? I mean,
That are disclosed
Come on.
now as the court.
when the
is
defense was
happening.
preparing for this, didn't have those things.
No. They should have been revealed at the pre-trial conference. They were not. They were held on for the perfect time. So already this is looking like murky waters. Okay. So he says that I found him with the suspect in the room. He said I must wait outside as he's still taking the statement of the suspect. Mapakela said that he took the pictures of the suspect. Again, that's why I brought up that whole thing that they could have explored with regards to these pictures. Why is there emphasis of the pictures of the suspect? I thought you were there for pictures of what? The pointing out. Right? So the suspect was told how to stand. And I'm like, what? The suspect was told how to stand. After taking the pictures, they said, I must follow them. They went inside the car. There was a driver, the suspect, and Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe. After the process, they came back and went back to Alberton SAPS. They went back to the same room. You know, this is where I started feeling somehow when he says, and after the process, you know, it started feeling like, you know, it's almost like he's being reminded. You know, it gave those vibes. I don't want to lie. This examination gave a lot of wake up. And then, did you notice?
Yeah, it had that thing. And the look came back, that look of uneasy.
It had that thing.
That look, I'm going to bite you if you say something. Do you understand?
The last time
that look.
we saw that look was with witnesses from the house. Witnesses that were inside the Spaza house. They were all getting that look. So I was like, yo, hi, kukushubil. It's tough. Well, then after the process, they did come back and went back to Alberton SAPS. They went back to the same room, and he says, I took pictures again of the suspect. Kanti, where are the pictures of the pointings out? Listen to this. He says he went, before they left, he took pictures of the suspect. They went. After the process, they came back. He took pictures of the suspect again.
No, they said the pointings were with him and who's this guy? Hadeb.
So
excluding the author.
The photographer.
Excluding the author. The person, which is Sibiya.
Sibiya. So I'm like, pictures of the suspect.
So Mshololo, at the end, I mean, you'd say, so this was between you and Sibiya and Hadeb? Yes. No one else? Yes. So basically, this was a discussion happening. And then you I mean, honestly, come on, guys.
Yeah, so Advocate Zitulele Nxumalo also cross-examined. He asked about the kilometer reading on the car, which he could not read. And that was very interesting. The camera decided not to work at the time.
It works, it stopped.
It gave Musia vibes.
Same as Musia. Sugar. Guys.
It gave Musia vibes. It was like deja vu all over again. So when it's supposed to read the kilometers and take the picture of the kilometer reading, the camera decided to jam and not work. Hi guys,
And then you tell me in your sober mind, you sit down and write the judgment and you find this thing admissible in court with all these irregularities. And there are people who are here, they dig. Yes, they're digging themselves out of that hole if they did.
You know, as soon as I heard this, I was like, maybe Nxumalo is onto something here, because he said, Mapagela, I can't even see the kilometer reading. I asked Kenel to write it down. So he says his camera let him down. So he asked Kenel Hadebe to write them down. And I was like, it seems like
you might have asked Kenel Hadebe to draw the pictures. Shouldn't you have?
And wouldn't this explain why initially when Ngumalo yesterday was asking Hadebe about the
directions,
kilometer
yes,
readings and the directions,
and the judge was like,
distance, the judge said it's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much relevant, it seems. What are they hiding? It seems relevant. Today or night it seemed relevant. I was like, why does it seem like and we as the public are catching on very late?
Very thina nkosami sizi-arams enkosi.
I'm like, there's something to this kilometer reading. Something is fishy.
Thina vele we South Africa fan.
Well, Ngumalo said the reason I'm asking you is because even in my copy, I cannot read the kilometer reading. And Mapakela said that's correct. Confirmed it to be Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe. According to him, Lieutenant is the one who wrote it somewhere. And he said you can ask him. And Ngumalo said he did not take any notes. That is what he told the court.
That is the direction of Sibiya with this lady. Mhlahlo. Push it to Mhlahlo. Mhlahlo pushes it back to you. That's how. And you tell me, there's a watertight case here.
That's what's happening here. And there were no notes made by him during this process. And Mapakela said for the kilometers, he did have them from the starting of the pointing out to the ending. He has them. And Ngumalo said, it also correct that a photo, number 25, you cannot also read the kilometer reading. And 2 pictures that were taken with kilometer readings, and none of them are showing these kilometer readings. And Mapakela says, yes, I did have the same problem on 2 photographs. And then Baloyi said it's not correct that he did not note the beginning kilometer. He says, I think he did testify about that.
Comes
he referred
later.
to page 5, which is 80652. He said it is the start. That was the starting kilometers.
Where's the end? No end.
But also, as I can recall, it was about the time. Hadebe mentioned the time. I don't remember him mentioning the kilometers,
yes.
Guys. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't.
Well, Mshololo said the spots on the sketch plan, who showed them to you? Mapakela said the Lieutenant Colonel. And Mshololo said, so you only took photos of the spots pointed by Hadebe? And he said yes.
Simple as that.
Loudspeaker.
That's Msiya. If you haven't had Msiya's vision, it went exactly like that.
Exactly like that. Now I really want to know about these kilometer readings. What were they? And the distance that was traveled. Now I'm interested in it. And the judge quickly shut it down yesterday. He shut it down. This is where you see the level of intimidation and why Ngumalo always looks like he's timid.
Ngumalo is scared, man. I don't know. I think, in all honesty, see, with lawyers, they know what we do not know. In all honesty, do I think that you meet Ngumalo on a normal day, he's scared like that?
No.
Do I think that if he was to practice like that in KZN, he is scared like that in court? No, you can hear he's a solid guy.
Remember the first time he crossed
He's just apologetic. It's like he's been done a favor to be there. I don't know. I'm just saying, because this is what I see. Man he cannot object to anything. Keeps quiet all the time. I'll leave that line of questioning, my lord. It's okay, or I'll leave that for arguments. You hardly hear Mgomezulu saying that. You hardly hear Mshololo saying that. You hardly hear Mnisi saying that. You got that from Ramusibili. You see, Ramusibili would actually do that.
Yes.
It was 2 of them. Now it's 1. Do I want Ngumalo to get someone else? No. I just would like to see him grow a bit of,
Sibiti.
Yes.
Like the leaf.
He's got it. I don't understand. In terms of the legal processes, he's there. In terms of he's there.
Loopholes.
He just needs to fight back. in a right way, though, that you do not end in being
trouble.
reported.
You just remain in the...
Throw your shades in passing, like Mshololo. But my Lord, I don't see this. No, why? And then you say, still, I don't see it. But it's okay. I will proceed.
Answer to my question.
Yes.
Damn, Shalolo. Today I was so impressed. I was like, hey, Shalolo is back.
She's behaving like someone who deserves to be there. You see, with Mumal on the other side, it's like
timid,
it's like
confidence
he was
has
sneaked in the case. It's like, okay, calm.
Has
Calm,
been
but
suppressed.
yeah, behave. And he's like, okay, my Lord.
Always looking for approval from the judge, and you are not going
to get it in this situation. Forget.
Don't even look in his direction. Look
forget.
At the witness.
Look at the like
Ngomezulu.
Ngomezulu is focusing on the witness.
Look at the judge. He's not gonna approve. He already has demonstrated that he's not with the defense. Right? So just stop looking for his approval. Please look at the witness. And if they stop you, rephrase. It's not a
if you need
smash.
to rephrase, Nakona, if you feel strong about that point, try to take it further to defense. And then if you need to concede, then concede when it's time to concede. That's the purpose of this of a trial.
Now the judge did his thing again, and he said to Sergeant Mapakela, you said you were stationed where? And he said Germiston Local Criminal Record. And he said, do you know Phosloras? And he said yes. Mapakel, do you know it well? And he said no. So you don't know where Colonel Hadebe as well as Mr. Sibiya and the driver of their vehicle drove to, and you don't know where they drove to. And he said no, I didn't know. So where you ended up, where did you end up? And he said I ended up as the Phosloras. Or when you took where did you end up when you took the photos? And he says I ended up at Phosloras. So I was like, there are certain witnesses that after they are done testifying, our beloved judge is always going to be like wanting to know more, probing a little bit further, doing what he does, and then there are those witnesses that don't corroborate quite what is needed. And then they just let go. They're not even asked these smaller questions at the end of their testimony or end of their testifying. It is very interesting, guys. Observe that situation. Observe it. Observe it. So the state called the next witness, who was Lieutenant Colonel Mohale Solomon Rapadu. Is it Rapadu or Ramapadu? It's Ramapadu, right? Yeah, I think it was Ramapadu, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then who testified for accused 2, Bongani Ntanzi's statement. So Ramapadu will testify on the confession statement by accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, which was made at the Muroka police station. This is over and above the confession to the magistrate. The defense said that they are challenging it. Advocate Tulani Mgomezulu for accused 1 and 2. The accused was forced to make the confession. Now Mgomezulu got up to express the inadmissibility of the statement and that it's being disputed by the defense on the grounds that they would lay down before the court. And just like the other documents he's redacted, the state has redacted even that document. So he had to set the grounds for the admissibility of the statement being challenged. And this is where he came in to say that the accused was forced to make the confession in the presence of the witness. The confession was not written by himself, the accused. The statement was already written, and he was forced to sign it. So according to the version of the accused is that by the time that they came with this already written statements, they were forced to sign the statements. So he says he was coerced to sign it in the presence of the police, who also assaulted him. So this was at the Muroka police station. Ramapadu is attached to Innerdale Detectives since 2018 as a detective commander. He says he joined the SAPS in 1988. And he went through, for me, guys, I don't want to lie, it felt like a time-wasting exercise. But I will go through it with you guys because I noticed some of the things that were kind of unsettling. He said there was a pointing out and he must do, but he is at Alberton. And Hadebe said that he arrived at Alberton at 11:30. Do you guys remember that? He says 10 o'clock. Hadebe said he arrived at Alberton at 8:30 yesterday during his testimony. So he found with him the suspect at room 31, introduced himself to him, and he told me, this is what he's saying, Ramapadu, I must wait outside. He is still taking the statement of the suspect. He said he'll call me once he's done with the suspect. He called me, I went inside, and he told me I was going to take the photos of the suspect. So he didn't tell him that he was going to take the photos of the pointing out that the suspect was going to do. So this is very interesting. Baloyi went to exhibits of the photos and Mapakela said he's the one who took those photos. He was speaking with the suspect and he told me how the suspect must stand. Again, this whole situation of the suspect's photos. Guys, it's very weird. So Baloyi said, do you recognize the document? Rapadi said, yes. He was contacted by Brigadier Gininda on 2020-06-18 by telephone. He requested him to assist in obtaining a confession and he agreed. Rapadu says he called again on the 19th of June 2020 and then went to Moroka police station. He was given a room next to the crime office. The accused person was brought to him by Jonathan of AMPD. He then left with him in my office. Then I asked him to leave. Then I took out my appointment certificate and showed accused and that I was the justice of the peace. After I noticed he was of sober mind and that he must not be afraid of me. Ramapadu said, I told him I am Pedi, but I know isiZulu. This part was very funny. He says, I am a Pedi and I know isiZulu. I know, is this to mention the Zulu nation? Zulu nation. How do you feel being referred to? I'm like, the drama. And he says, I know isiZulu because when I arrived in Johannesburg, I stayed at the hostel for 10 years. Ramapadu said, I've also taken a lot of statements from Zulu people. Ramapadu says, I then warned him, the accused, that he has the right to remain silent and everything he will say to me will be written down and used as evidence in a court of law against him, that he has a right to appoint an attorney of his choice, and if he doesn't have finances, the state can afford to give him one for free. I then asked him, do you understand? And he said, yes. So Ramapadu said, I asked him, what do you do, or what do you want to do? He said he wants to continue making a statement without a lawyer. I further warned him whether he was assaulted. He said, no, I was never assaulted. I further asked if he was promised or enticed to make the statement. He said, no, he was never enticed. I asked him whether he was making it voluntarily and freely, and he responded saying yes. So Ramapadu said, I then took down his statement. Baloyi asked, where did you get the form? And Ramapadu said it was part of his stationery. He was asked if he was informed of the reason of his arrest. He said yes. He was also informed of his rights, including the right to remain silent and consult with a legal practitioner of choice. Ramapadu said he was asked if he wanted to contact a legal practitioner of his choice or legal aid before proceeding with the statement. He said no. Ramapadu said he was asked if he has the number of a lawyer, and he said, I don't have one. I don't want to use one. Even from legal aid, I want to continue freely. So in summary, Ramapadu said Ntanzi's constitutional rights were explained to him as per Section 35 of the Constitution, including the right to remain silent and the warning warning that anything he could have said could be held against him in a court of law, among others. And Ramaphosa said that Danzi chose to be legally represented or not be legally represented. My apologies. So Ramaphosa concluded his testimony. The state said that the court interpreter, Jonas, was not feeling well and matters should be stood down. How convenient. How convenient. So guys, you can call in. The lines are now open.
Yeah, the lines are open. Guys, please call in. Just wanna wait for you. As I think this is the end of the journey for Emily. It's gonna be that's what she's going to do for today. We are here now. Guys, what do you think? What is your take? What is it that you saw that we might have missed? This is a court of public opinion. Again, remind you to please like the video, share the video, and comment as usual, as Sizwe and Maloloza is doing that. Toolie Tools is doing that too. Please call us either on WhatsApp or on the cell phone number where you feel comfortable. To Nutty Pictures can be debunked. The allegations of no injuries in hospital. We do not diagnose injuries by looking at the patient by the use, but we used investigations such as X-rays and others. Not all injuries can be diagnosed by looking at the patient. Please tell Nutty that no police can be sure that the patient has no injuries by just looking. And that's what I think the defense has been trying to say that you cannot, by naked eyes, just see where this person is injured or whether there is something that was done to this person. This person was not able to breathe. There's pressure somewhere. Like, you can't do that. You can't just take pictures and say, oh yeah, the person was fine. Even his mind, you cannot just come and say, hey, he was sober and whatnot. You cannot do that. You can't do that. You cannot. It will require experts in such things. So guys, tell us what you're saying today. Let's hear also what you're saying in the comments. Please call us. The number is scrolling below for WhatsApp and for direct calling. Thank you, CK Moyo. And then Sweet Chill is here. Jauhelo is here. Lindelani is here. And we still have Nati here. Yeah, that's basically the truth of the matter. Is that, guys, please never yield any confess to crime you didn't commit, even if they chew that thing. Because once you confess, you are effectively 1 foot in jail for crime, and that is true. But unfortunately, that thing is painful. Depending on how people can resist the pain, yeah. That's basically what it is, because I don't know. I've never been in that situation, but people who are from there, from what we are hearing on the network agenda and other channels that are dealing with people that have dealt with these things, who some look even stronger. Who are you in me, who are just maybe stambile. Thank you very much, guys, for the comments. Keep them coming, and please like the video. In my own humble opinion, I do not think that this evidence would be admissible in court because of irregularities that happened prior taking of these statements and during taking of these statements. That is my humble opinion. In a normal court, I do not think. I think the defense has demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that there was something wrong with the taking of the statements during the process, be it the procedure itself. Nothing much as yet that they have shown. We still wait for them in terms of medical, if there is any medical certificates that would actually make their case of duress even more stronger. Basically, based on the issues, that's the regularities of taking, or that was happening during the taking of the statement. That's what we saw. There's a lot of problems with that. And the issue of Jonas. Jonas, he started going to the library now, doing the research that the police should be doing. He started doing those things, and now he's sick. May he get better. Hey, but we're not sure now. Hey, we're not sure. I mean, they came back, they continued, and all of a sudden it's announced for early adjournment. It looks to me like the witness that was on the stand was not prepped well. Something was about to happen, or something was going to happen. So, yeah, well, he could be sick, he could not be sick, I don't know. But all I'm saying is that I'm taking his weight. He said he's sick. Through Baloi, through you, Chair, after interpreting for that long, no question of what sickness is that, as the judge usually would say, prided himself in doing so when people were not willing to come to court. Or is it applicable only to people who are outside, not the people that are working for court? Maybe, I don't know. But in my own opinion, I had that last witness was not ready. He was not ready. He was not ready. So, let's hear from you guys what you have to say. And if there's nothing to say, it's a good one for me, because that would mean that I'm going to have to sleep early. I'm not going to wait for long, because Emil is no longer here. It's gone. I would also need to go. If you guys are okay with what happened today, there's nothing much that happened. Just looking at the proceeding unfolding. That was it. Please like the video, share the video, press the like button as much as you can. Thank you, Baloi channel. Thank you for reminding people to press the like button. I'm just gonna take few people, and I'm gonna leave, guys, if no one's calling. Muzwake, Radebe, thank you. Sizwe and Nati, thank you for participating. Lindelani and Pam, thank you. DJ Afro, thank you. And I have Elizabeth, thank you. Mimi, thank you. Okay, and Sikemo, I've talked about you. Thank you very much. One of our moderator. Team Cool, thank you for being here. Dipuo, thank you for being constantly present. Tuli Tools, same thing. Yeah, those are the people that I see. Strike, thank you. And I have, I think I've touched on many people. Just go up. Let's see who has never been mentioned here. Our Kosinati Mike Skosana, our member. Thank you very much for being part of this. Oh yeah, here we go. Zanzi, hello. Yes, sir. I'm good. And how are you?
I'm good. You're speaking to
Yes.
Yes, then what's that? The last witness by the name Mapakedi.
Yes.
Yeah, he's based in Morocco, right? There's something that I saw on Twitter today. I think around 12.
I think I saw it. I saw it, and why I would, in my own opinion, and I'll give you a chance. I think you shouldn't put it on this record, and why I'm saying that, it gives more chance to wrong people, maybe, who might be watching and preparing for the worst to come. This is my submission. I saw such thing. I didn't want to make noise about it. We saw it. I think around the same time that you probably saw it. But what we have noticed in this case is that you do not want to speak beforehand.
But what if coincide with what happened after the adjournment with the witness.
I'm not sure if I get you, but let me give you a platform to submit. You want to submit points?
My point is, guy is the one who, the friend of the guy is the one who wrote that it's going to end in tears, right?
The friend of a guy.
With regards to the case.
It's alleged that it's a friend of a guy. It could be someone else.
Yes. Yes, let me use the alleged. With the issue of the video and what.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's a coincidence that there was an early adjournment. In fact, in my own opinion, you'll see if the guy comes back tomorrow, he's going to be singing a different tune. And you even look at, hear the demeanor or the composure of his body language tomorrow. It's going to be different. Because if somebody can say, who is my friend, say, Judicial has...
Oh, we lost you like that. And it's not me. You called yesterday. That's why I took your phone. You called yesterday. I think I missed your number. But I'm able to identify it. If you can call, please call again. I don't know what is happening with our connection. I guess they don't want you to speak. Maybe you're touching a wrong nerve. It happened to us. Internet was buffering forever. It does happen. These things do happen. I don't know how they do. But yeah, I hear your submission. Let us see what unfolds tomorrow. If it happens that tomorrow we come back, my suggestion is that we do have someone who's on standby in case Jonas gets sick. This is just precaution. I mean, considering that he was sick yesterday. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying he was sick yesterday. He could be sick today. I mean, we don't know how severe that sickness is. This is my submission. My humble submission is that we get someone on standby. This is High Court. We can't stand down because an interpreter is sick. You know, we should cater for such things. We should always cater for such things. I think I remember Maumela dealing with such things in his time where we had a problem. I think Jonas again was dealing with issues on another court. So we are there again. So to avoid sicknesses and mistakes that could happen, can we deal with these things and bring people on standby, such as the interpreter? That's mean giving job to someone else. I mean, this is High Court. You can't have one person, rely on one person. As long as the defense and the prosecutor is there and the judge is there, all is well. They can drink the tea, they can do whatever, but my thinking and my logical thinking that the judge didn't want to hear from Gomez Zulu, my own humble opinion, is that we need a second person. I mean, we can't rely that much on Jonas. He's good. He's fast. But we need a second person. That's my opinion. I don't know what you think. You can say what you think. Let me take this one. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad.
Yeah, is it the podcast?
Yes, it is. You are there. You are live.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just want to find out, are they calling Gininda tomorrow, or are they still continuing with that guy? Because I left before the agenda, so I didn't hear what happened before the end.
Oh, Jonas got sick. So they are continuing with the guy who was on the stand too. He was just being examined by Baloyi. He was giving his evidence.
Oh.
So it could be a long day or a short day in terms of that guy. But I don't think it is coming anytime soon, guys. Just relax.
Yeah, he's trying to avoid so many questions because he was getting heated up yesterday.
I don't think it's coming anytime soon. Just cool down. Just wait. I mean, we waited for Piri, and it never happened, and it doesn't seem like it will ever happen anytime soon, unless 375 exists. That's basically my basis of submission.
But you know what I think about this case. I think this trial within a trial, that's when everything is gonna change, because if they can't accept the evidence that is provided by this guy and all those measures with all the people that have been there, what's the use of carrying forward or hearing some more evidence if ever the confessions were actually not taken correctly? I mean, I don't think it's gonna work. Maybe they wanna listen to some other evidence, but I think it will work for the accused much better.
Yeah.
If this evidence is not gonna be allowed, I don't know what you think.
No, that's my thinking. You see, my worry all along has not been the issue of this case continuing. My worry has been more of 375 being trampled upon.
Yeah, but you see now what they say. They say 375 will be looked at after this trial is finished.
But how do you drag something on a mud that you still want to wear at some point? That's what I'm trying to submit to you. That during these proceedings of this 636, it seems as if 375 might die a slow, painful death. Why I'm saying that? If out of all this it happens, there will be no enough evidence, or there will be a certain reason that this case stop, but it won't be to acquit the accused in that sense that they really did not do it. So that means 375 could be starting on a wrong foot of, I mean, those who are defending those who be on 375 could say, I mean, even those people, man, that case is still a case that is still on. Why would you now look towards us? That case is not finished because those people were not, acquitted properly to say that they didn't do it. Yes.
I see.
And that's my worry.
Yeah. But you see the problem about what's the other 365,
375.
The 375. The problem about 375, they won't actually they're not gonna get the killer there. In actual fact, I don't see any way that the killer is gonna be found, because it seems like everyone is trying to protect the other one. Everyone is trying to protect this one. And then at the end of the day, even if you look at this whole case, I mean, if you look at Ntanzi, how could someone leave work to go and rob a cell phone? I mean, and then at the end of the day, you just only get away with one cell phone. But another thing that amazed me, that guy Zungu, he said he saw people exchanging cards, but he never said that he saw any cell phone, or he saw. You understand? So it doesn't make sense, and then it doesn't have a motive. You know, what was the motive that those guys were driven by? It doesn't make sense anyhow.
Yeah, no, I get.
I don't know how it makes sense to me.
No,
so
we get your submission. No, I get you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Let's see what happens tomorrow, and then we can talk again.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Right. As we talk to someone, we miss someone, and that's a normal thing. I think on my side, I have exhausted all avenues. I'm I'm out. Okay. As I'm going out, Mzanzi, hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
Oh, not bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What I just want to also add is, so now I understand why they try the best they can to fight people to be out of that case, because people will actually expose all of those policies. So that means all of those police officers who came to testify there, while we, even as a public, we actually saw them that they are lying, etc. So that means people will expose each and every police. That's why they made sure that they take people out of this case before they start calling all these guys, all these police officers to come and buy this. Because 100% sure that find out that people work with some of those guys who came and testified, or he knows them. So how are they going to lie in front of people as a lawyer now? I work with you. We know the system. We know how the system works. So how are you going to lie to me as a lawyer now? So I think that's my take. That's the main reason they try to make sure that they take people out of the case due to those such reasons.
Yes. No,
okay.
You've got a point there. No, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's give others a chance. Right. Do we even have others? So, guys, I think today it was a WhatsApp day. Today it was a WhatsApp day. It's just saying, caller is spot on. Tidiso Mtetwa. The last witness and his friend said he has the video of the 9 police officer. Yeah. Hey, I wanna this case. You don't wanna celebrate beforehand. I've taught myself that to avoid sickness. I don't wanna be sick. I don't wanna be because as we are preparing, the enemy is preparing too.
Yes.
And you see, the problem is other people have finances, backup of other resources, and others, they could run dry anytime. So just saying, it's something to look at, but I cannot dispute the fact that it created a bit of excitement, because if there was any play like that, then we would firsthand see how these things happen. And I would like to hear from the people then who believe otherwise. How then are they feeling after that?
Yeah.
You always want to see these things that are hidden, that are behind cameras. At night, you always want to see your yard at night if it's possible. But unfortunately, you are not able to do so because you are sleeping. I guess we are in a sleep mode in South Africa as a whole. Perhaps that dream would be very exciting. It would actually open eyes for people. Perhaps the arguments would be different now. As a society at large, we would engage differently. Yes. But at this moment, we're speaking in dreams.
Yeah, it's definitely one for not getting your hopes up.
Well, Emily, thank you. I just want to thank everyone, and also you, while limping, you are doing the Lord's work.
I am trying. I am trying. God knows I'm trying. And I was so unfortunate to have covered these glitches that I noticed with the examination. And in my opinion, I know my opinions are always wild.
Oh, your opinions are not wild, right? This is public opinion. You are.
But I feel like there's a whole adjournment with Jonas. It was because this examination was not giving what it was supposed to give. In my opinion,
going left. Yes, it didn't sound polished. Let me put it like that.
Yeah, because at the time that he was after Baloyi initiated the word directorate, I'm like, how can you not remember your own position? How can you not remember your own position? How does that happen, guys? Like, he had to be reminded by Advocate Baloyi that he's a directorate for priority crimes in 2007. At some point, he said that he was given a certain position. 2018, he returned back to Moroka, and then Baloyi asked, who was it in 2009 when you returned to Moroka? And Ramapadi was like, oh yes, it was 2009. Thanks for the correction. That was very strange. That was very strange. I'm like, how can you not know your own CV? How does the prosecutor know your CV more than you do? That was so strange, guys. It was so hectic. I was like, this examination is not
off the
flowing.
script. Cut. Jonas.
It's not flowing.
Jonas.
So this was a perfect witness that they should have gotten for cross-examination today, in my opinion.
But we must also call Jonas out for being strong. You know, he's a strong man, because I mean, after feeling sick, I don't know when,
he still
continued up until to a point where
to interpret.
There was that forgetting and whatnot, and I mean, honestly speaking,
he's so strong.
He's very strong, and
he is.
And
I give it to him. He's strong.
And the voice was sounding proper. Like,
yeah,
it didn't sound sick.
He didn't sound sick at all.
That is someone who's very strong.
Wow, he's a strong man.
He's a very strong man.
Respect to Babu Jonas. I can only imagine.
Yo.
You are not feeling well and you have to go on and on and
maybe
on.
Maybe it's a tummy bug. Maybe,
and I'm sure he's standing as
you're standing as you're doing this, my lord.
Babu Jonas, you are a warrior.
No, he's a warrior. He's a warrior. Just in time. I mean, you might as well exit. I mean, then go home and recoup. Tomorrow you come back stronger. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back tomorrow. I mean, the way he is strong, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back tomorrow. He might still be sick, maybe, but he might come back. But then they'll get
the other one.
No, I think he's gonna come back. I think Jonas is gonna come back.
Jonas is gonna come back?
We want our Jonas. He's strong, that man. Isn't he strong?
He is strong.
He continued.
And
up until that stuttering of whatever that happened.
The doctor's note, and everyone in the defense counsel was not interested in him getting it.
No, there was no need. Why would you do that to Jonas? I mean, Jonas is working hard. He's even doing research for Baloyi.
For the judge in the state. He runs all the way to the library in Takabao just to get them stuff that they can use to counter their defense.
No, Jonas is coming back to me. I'm telling you, he's strong, that man. He's strong. You see, with Jonas, unlike MC, you could feel he was not well. You know, see.
You could hear it in his voice, especially.
Unfortunately for Jonas, he's a strong man. Like, you can't even hear
the difference.
This is where the camera, I wanted to see the camera, because I saw Baloyi just looking at him and, you know, suggesting this thing that to adjourn, and I was like, wow, Jonas Wabantu. Oh, shame. Saram Senkos. No, guys.
And another part that was interesting, just before we close, Baloyi asked, in what capacity did you go back to Moroka police station? And Ramapadi was like, I was a captain, the head of serious and violent crimes. And then Baloyi was like, and detectives. So he had to remind him again that not only are you...
Why did you opt for English, Maradis? Jonas wouldn't be sick. You know, Jonas wouldn't be sick. Maybe he was sick because I realized he was also correcting the English in interpretation. I mean, I would be sick too.
Oh my God. And I was like, yo, it's amazing how the state is testifying and correcting the witness on their own career history. It's so strange. And it seems like the prosecutor knew that way better than the witness themselves. I was like, yo, this next examination is not going well, eh?
You wanna bet?
Okay. Bet what?
No, I've got no man. I've got just 20 rand. Jonas is coming back tomorrow.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it was just a stomach bug or something.
Okay, I'm going to say he's not gonna be back.
Okay, let's
We'll
see.
have the other interpreter.
But what if they were gonna change that interpreter in any case tomorrow?
Ne,
How are we gonna know?
we were never gonna know.
That's not a fair bet. But I think Jonas is strong, guy. He's coming back. No, guys, thank you very much. I'm also coming back like Jonas, stronger.
Yeah, stronger and better.
Thank you.
Kuyakusasa. Thank you guys so much for watching, and shout out to all of you who are in the chat. It's a good night from us.
Bye.
Bye.